Away from that, let's bring you some updates from the presidency. There are no plans to relocate the federal capital to Lagos. And that's the message from President Bola Tinubu, who's on a private visit to France. In a press statement by the Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Bayo Ononuga noticed how mischief makers bent on fueling needless ethnic mistrust have deliberately misinterpreted the decision of the Central Bank of Nigeria to relocate its Department of Banking Supervision to Lagos, and the directive of the Ministry of Aviation and Aerospace Development to relocate the head office of Federal Airport Authority to Lagos. The presidency considers it necessary to inform Nigerians that there is no iota of truth in the interpretations given to the directives in some quarters, and that the unfounded claims and rumors that President Tinubu is planning to relocate the federal capital back to Lagos. The movement of FAN, an agency of aviation ministry to Lagos, where it was located before former Minister of Aviation Hadi Sirika moved it to Abuja during the last administration, doesn't amount to moving the federal capital to Lagos. And that's according to Bayo Ononuga. Joining me now to further deliberate on the matter is PDP chieftain Lere Olayinka. He joins me from our Abuja studio. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Olayinka. Let's begin with what you make of some of the reasons why these agencies have been relocated. The Department of Banking Supervision of the CBN, we understand, deals with commercial banks, and that almost all of those banks are headquartered in Lagos. We're also hearing that the administrative move of the Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria to Lagos is because it's the commercial capital and the hub of aviation business in Nigeria, and to also perhaps further enhance productivity and boost operational efficiency. Is that logical for you?
Well, Nifemi, thank you for having me, and Happy New Year to you. First, I want to say that I don't want to speak today as a politician. I don't want to speak today as a PDP as a PDP member. I also don't want to speak as from Ekiti State, as a Yoruba person. I want to speak like a Nigerian. Like I said in the write-up, one of the write-up I did yesterday, people who are coming up to voice disagreement on this step by the presidency are so ill-advised. They are so ill-advised. And I made this so clear yesterday, and I'm saying this again. I'm not saying this to be seen as defending the president. No. At some point in the history of Nigeria, we should also be able to come out and speak like Nigerians. How will movement of one or two or three departments in CBN and FAN affect the welfare of Nigeria? And those who have also commented, the northern senators, the ACF, mostly people from the north, how will movement of 2-3 departments from CBN affect the welfare of the people from the north? That is one question that I believe that they should come to a TV station like this and answer. And the answer to it is nothing. It's no. It has no effect on anyone. And the truth of the matter is that this is not a branch, or be a department in CBN. It's not the first department of federal agency that will be outside Abuja. These people that are talking, they know. But unfortunately too, everything in Nigeria is politics, is ethnicity. And I also raised yesterday, if people are saying that, oh, because you have moved the 2 or 3 departments in CBN to Lagos, you have moved FAN to Lagos, because of that, you are now saying that the government or the president or whoever want to relocate capital to Abuja. Can a single individual in this country relocate a federal capital territory that is a function place? Because it wasn't that they just say that this is the capital of Nigeria. It is in the law of Nigeria. Before anybody can change that, that person has to amend the law of constitution of this country. Then the question is also that, should we also call for the movement of NECO that is in MENA? Because NECO too is a federal agency and the headquarters is in Minna. Should we also say ITF, that is Industrial Training Fund, that is also a federal agency that is in Jos, should also move to Abuja? Should we also say that MBTE, that is in Kaduna, should move to Abuja? Should we say that NIWA, that is in Lokoja, should come to Abuja? Should we say that NDA, National Defense Academy, that is in Abuja, that is in Kaduna, should come to Abuja? Or should we say that a Bank of Agriculture, with its capital, with its headquarters in Kaduna, should come to Abuja? Should we say that NEMASA, that is in Lagos, headquarters is in Lagos, Apapa, should come to Abuja? Are we also saying that MPA, that has its headquarters in Abuja, even before now, should come to Abuja? Should come to Abuja. That the headquarters of MPA is in Lagos. Should come to Abuja. So people, I still believe that leaders of this country should begin to speak like Nigerians. They should stop speaking like Northerners, and they should also get themselves concerned with the welfare of their people.
I hear you, Mr. Olayinka. Yeah. In an article you recently published, you seem to have also drawn a parallel between, what's happening here and the United States, citing, agencies like the headquarters of the NOAA, the National Institute of Standards and Technology. Are you saying that there is a sense to which this is standard practice in developed countries?
There is a standard practice anywhere. Nigerian practice federal system of government, same as USA. CIA, that is Central Intelligence Agency of United States. The headquarters is not in Washington, D.C. And that is the #1 intelligence agency of the U.S. The headquarters is not in Washington. There are several agencies of the government of United States that have headquarters outside U.S. Some have a headquarters in Virginia, some have in Maryland, some have in Florida, some have their headquarters everywhere. Atlanta, Georgia, everywhere. So why are we like this in Nigeria? I don't understand. And I also raised one question yesterday. Most of these people talking about movement of CBN department from Abuja to Lagos. The question is, have they told Nigeria for once when employment were made into CBN? There was no time that employment into CBN was advertised. There was no time Nigerians were informed that, we are going to employ people into CBN. They did not tell us so. It is when those departments are going to be moved to Lagos that will affect their children. Because most of those people making noise, their children are the ones employed in CBN. So their children are going to be moved from their comfort zone in Abuja, probably to Lagos. That is why they are angry. That is why they are making noise. That is why they are making noise. While they were employing people in CBN, did they tell Nigerians? When they are now moving where their children are employed, working out of Abuja, they are now telling us as if they have our interest. I also asked yesterday, in the last 4 weeks, over 300 Nigerians have been killed in Mangu, in Plateau State. Northern senators have not done anything, apart from pious issue statement. But what about Northern senators going to Plateau? What about Northern senators going to Plateau to go and talk to leaders of the people that are fighting? What about the ACF going to Plateau to go and talk to the people of Plateau, of that place that are fighting? Or are they saying that Plateau State is no longer part of the North?
In fairness to the Northern senators, Mr. Olayinka, you recall that the lawmakers and I think senators, did donate some amount of money, to the victims.
It's not about donating money. It's not about donating. It's good.
As a matter of fact. But let me quickly ask this, Mr. Olayinka. I'm sure that you've heard the argument that if decongesting operations at CBN headquarters at Abuja is one of the reasons for the relocation, that Lagos shouldn't be the best choice as there are neighboring states to be considered for it.
No. You see, one of the things that we also have in this country is a problem of communication. I think the people working in this government are not also communicating to the people effectively. They are not telling the Nigerians. They are not using the kind of the language that Nigerians want to hear. How can you tell us that because the office in Abuja is saturated, you are now going to Lagos? Instead of telling Nigerians that those departments you are moving to Lagos are central to banking, to the banking industry. Most of the banks in Nigeria today have their headquarters in Lagos. So why will you now have departments that deal with those headquarters directly, and you have that department in Abuja? It's not about space. It's not about space. I believe that if it is about space, truly, then we should not be talking about Lagos. It should be to somewhere else. But if we now move a department, probably, I'm not a banker, but I know that there's what is called clearing of checks and all that when checks was still in use. That is, I know that they usually have to be, they have like clearing house, they meet and all that, clear check and all that. How do you now move that department to say Enugu or Owerri or Abia when you have headquarters of the banks involved in Lagos? So that to me is the only tenable reason that you say you want to move that department. Then you are talking about FAN. What is the traffic in Abuja airport compared to Lagos airport? Those are the issues. And if we feel that we want this country to work, if there's a department in the Ministry of Agriculture, for instance, that deal with maybe livestock farming, cattle farming, you can move that department to Maiduguri. You can move it to Katsina. You can move it to Dutse in Jigawa State. If there's a department in the Ministry of Commerce that deal with a small-scale industry, why not move that department to Aba? Why not move it to Onitsha or Nnewi? We shouldn't. There's nothing in the law of Nigeria that says that you cannot have a department of a ministry outside Abuja. We already have it. Even JAMB that we have is in Buhari now. It's in Buhari. It's not in central Abuja here. So we should begin to do things differently.
I hear
like
you.
Like I said,
some have even called for
there are more,
perhaps the possibility of regional headquarters. But quickly, let me share with you a tweet from a former CBN deputy governor, on the relocation of the CBN department. Kingsley Moghalu had tweeted earlier saying that, "I don't see any serious basis for such disquiet. A new Lagos office for the bank was completed and inaugurated about 12 years ago while I was at the bank. As far as I can remember, it was underutilized. Meanwhile, the numbers of staff in the Abuja headquarters are vastly over the health and safety limits of the building. Moreover, the market and entities supervised by the departments that will move to Lagos are mostly in Lagos. So what's the problem? Seems a rational decision to me." And I think he'd also touched on the issue you raised earlier. But quickly, Mr. Olayinka, you've heard the northern senators, right? Saying that they will engage the executive. Yes. You also heard the chief whip of the Senate, saying that the relocation will have political consequences as, this move continue to elicit controversial debates. Some groups have also claimed the decision is part of plans to underdevelop the northern part of Nigeria. What's the implication of this becoming an ethnic and regional discussion?
You see, that is the fear of people like us. We are always making statements, making utterances that call to question the unity of this country, Nigeria. If you are telling us that, because a department in the CBN is being moved to Lagos, because of that, it will have political consequences, it will have this. The question is, these senators, Nifemi, why are they not talking about the welfare of Nigerians? Exchange rate dollar is about 1,440 now to $1. Why are they not talking about that? I bought fuel here in Abuja yesterday at 670 naira per liter. Why are they not talking about that? Why are they not talking about the living condition of Nigeria that have deteriorated now? That is very, 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 very difficult. Things are difficult in Nigeria now. Nigerians can no longer afford decent living. And that is the situation that we should be talking about. Not about movement of a department that their children, where only their children will be affected. You are moving department to Lagos. How does that affect me, for instance? How does that affect you? How does that affect the man on the street, the man pushing wheelbarrow on the street? How does that affect the man in the farm in Damaturu? How does that affect the man in the farm in Daura or in Dutse or in Kaduna? It does not affect anybody. It only affects their children, who are the only people employed in CBN. So if it is going to have any political consequences, well, I don't know what they mean by political consequences, but I don't see any consequence of this, because on this one, they are only protecting their own personal interests. It is the interest of their children they are protecting. It's not my interest. If you like, carry central bank to Sambisa, how does that affect me? If you like, you carry Asorok to Benin.
Quickly, Mr. Olayinka, Senator Ndume did say that President Tinubu is being misled by a cartel he called Lagos Boys, and that is confident the president will reverse it. So this political consequence, I understand your position, but there's also the political interpretation. Do you think it is waiting now for, the president to reconsider these decisions?
If the president reconsidered this, he will have lost even his legitimacy to continue to rule Nigerians. He will have lost his legitimacy to be seen as president of Nigeria. Let them give me one reason that he should reverse the decision. Let them give me one reason. I've said it. If they have come to the table to talk about welfare of Nigerians, that Nigerians who can no longer feed decently, if they have come to talk about that, I will take them seriously. On this one, they are only doing the normal thing, playing politics, and playing politics. And at the end of the day, these same people, by the time they now see that things are whatever, they will still come out and change and say the same. So I don't see anything about this affecting anybody. And I want to also tell the president on this one that if there are other agencies of the federal government that he has to move to other places, move to Benin, move to Ekiti, Ado Ekiti, move some to Akure, move some to Aba, Enewi Onitsha, move some to Katsina, move some to Borno or Benue or anywhere. He should do that so that this country can function well.
Political affairs analyst and PDP chieftain Lere Olayinka, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us on the program this evening.
You're welcome.
Well, that's our program today. You can watch it again at midnight and at 6 a.m. tomorrow. I am Nifemi Oguntoye. See you again soon.